Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from a sort of interesting life.com. You're joining me on board good old narrowboat Tilly, and today we're going to take a look back over the year at some of my favourite boating moments of 2015. And what a year it has been. I've discovered exactly how much I've enjoyed this year, as about 10 minutes ago I tried to record an attempt at this introduction that ended up turning into a 5-minute plus monologue of me talking about all the different things that have happened in this year. So instead of getting drawn into all that, I'm just going to say the first thing we're going to look at on this list of best memories, and to get all of the boating footage straight to you right now, is a fantastic day that I had on board Fuel Boat Mountbatten with Hannah and John, two brilliant people. And as this footage is about to show, not only was it great company, it was a great day with great weather on a great boat in a great place. Hopefully this very opening scene here will sum up everything that I've just said. You've got a beautiful blue sky, beautiful bright sunlight on the green fields, and all of the trees and everything coming back well and truly into life, and even a few weeds to add a little bit of colour into things, as spring was getting well underway and summer was on its way at this point. And what a brilliant way to spend hours on end just travelling around on a beautiful old boat like this in incredible places on, as I say, just this incredible day. I would say that if you're interested in seeing more of this particular boat, I am going to be posting a link in the description to the short film that I made of this day that all of these little clips are taken from, along with the original videos for the other memories and moments we're about to take a look at. But I just wanted to open with this because, well, it was a fantastic day. Another absolutely fantastic day was definitely when my nan and grandad joined me on board for our trip up and over the Pont Cysylltu Aqueduct. And my goodness me, when it comes to very busy days, as this was all in the Easter sort of period of the year, we got caught in traffic as we led up to the aqueduct itself. And I cannot explain to you, it was so slow moving that we literally stopped multiple times on the aqueduct itself. So hopefully on the screen right now you'll see some of the scenery of that. If there's ever an experience to get friends or family on board to do on a canal boat, it's definitely heading over this aqueduct. As you can see, without having any railings or anything at all on the side here to stop you accidentally tumbling over, I just want to point out I'm not trying to lean over the side of the boat here. I had the camera extended on the tripod rather than leaning dangerously over that overhang. But you can imagine that it definitely makes for an interesting experience, and definitely makes you feel like you'd rather stand on the inside of the boat rather than right next to that. But again, what a great experience, and again, managed to have a beautiful bit of weather. As I say, the first half of this year was incredible, and it's just a shame that the last 2 months of this year so far have definitely put a little bit more water back down on the ground. A little bit too much. Again, the full version of this video will be in the links in the description below. When it comes to unexpected events, I think that when I turned up to go through a lift bridge one evening and found that the lift bridge itself was completely and utterly broken and out of action, I didn't expect that to actually turn into a beautiful, nice, calm, relaxing evening, to be honest. And unfortunately, it did completely scupper my plans for that sort of period of the summer. But it led to one of the most perfect moonrises and sunsets that I've ever seen. So let's take a quick look at a couple of clips. So here is the broken lift bridge itself, with the top part all over the place and not where it should be, as it later turned out a car had driven over it before it was completely down. But as I say, this isn't obviously a good moment, but what it led to, with me having to turn Tilly around and start travelling back the other way, was this: the most beautiful pastel coloured sky I've ever seen. Just a quick moment, but a good one. When it comes to long-lasting experiences, I think one of the better prolonged days of boating has to be the day that I went down through the Frankton locks from the Llangollen Canal onto the Montgomery with the aid of other Dan and his fiancée Amy, as we basically had a fantastic hour or two on board, and they joined me for the first mile or 2 miles, mile and a half maybe, and then they cleared off and went back up before they had to walk half of Shropshire back to their car, and I decided to carry on. And it had started off as a little bit of a grey sort of day. There's sort of a bit of blue sky and then a little bit of drizzle. But in the end, as I kept travelling and travelling and travelling for, I don't know if it's about 5 or 6 hours to travel about 6 miles or so, 6 to 7 miles, I'm not sure the exact figures, but basically I averaged barely over 1 mile an hour, and it was brilliant. And especially by the time I got down to mooring up and the beautiful blue sky, and then got to see a perfect sunset, and it was just a fantastic day all round. You can see here that even though we've got grey skies and not perfect conditions there, the sun is actually lighting everything from the opposite side of the sky. So as I say, luckily it was the blue sky and the fluffy clouds that ultimately won the day. But this is one of the moments of the year for me personally, having this heron set off at relatively close range compared to where they normally fly off, and then do this beautiful little semicircle around, and then sitting back down on the canal behind us. Again, to have two friends on board and have that sort of moment actually happen with other witnesses is just perfect, because it's what sums up so much of what I love about being out on the canal. And like I say, by the time I got down to Maysbury at the bottom of the Montgomery, you can see just how good the weather was. As I say, a link to the full video in the description. I'm going to throw in just one random clip here. Now, this isn't something that's good or brilliant or anything in particular, but it's the sort of moment that really sums up just how completely unexpected these little things that boat life throws up at you can be, and how they can add in different events that you couldn't plan or predict, but sort of adds an extra level of novelty or an extra dimension to your daily life. And that was when I was travelling up the towpath back towards Tilly and discovered a boat that had come unmoored in the muddy bank and with speeding boats up and down by Chirk Tunnel. And even though it wasn't a good thing, because I knew that people had obviously been past and must have known that the boat had broken free of the canal side, but just stopping while I was on my bike and trying to find a stone to hammer the mooring pins back into the ground, and really just that completely random thing of trying to do a very temporary and very sort of makeshift rescue job of keeping this boat stuck relatively securely back to the side of the canal, as a random part of just an accepted duty that you have really in some respects to being a boater and being on the towpath and looking out for each other, whether you're on the canal, whether you're on in boots or on a bike and so on. And really, it's just those sort of little things. And I know that people have, in the past, when Tilly was, when I used to use the mooring hooks with Tilly, and every now and then those had come free. I know that people have done the same for me, and there's been other times where I've helped drag boats across the canal and stuff. And really, I just wanted to throw it in as just a, yeah, look at this. You've all got to chip in and help each other out every so often. As I say, it's not the most dramatic thing, and it's certainly not a good thing to find boats pulled out of their moorings or anything like that. But it's something that I'm happy to do my tiny little part of helping out as I find these little situations every now and then. And as I say, I'm very grateful to know that there's other people who've done the same for me in the past. So my friends, without further ado, I hope you've enjoyed this quick look back at some of my favourite boating moments of 2015. As I say, all of the links to these full videos are in the description below. Please do also consider helping me out by checking out my short boaty books. You'll find links to those in the description as well. Please do consider also adding me on Facebook or following me on Facebook if you don't want to get that personal as being friends. That's all fine. 400 followers on Facebook. Now that I didn't expect, especially considering how there's about 2,000 people added me on there. So thank you so much for all that. If you want to see loads of random boaty pictures that I post over there, then please do feel free to add me on that, or Twitter and all that sort of stuff. Like the Facebook page too if you'd like. And really, until the next time, I hope you've had an absolutely fantastic year. I wish you all the best for 2016. And until the next time, keep it memory worthy, keep it boat worthy, and of course, farewell.